Okay. And then what are your specific needs? As an empath, we commonly are thinking of other people because of our compassion. We want to be helpful to others. But what are our specific needs? What's yours? What are your desires? Are you living the life you love? Are you being able to identify your own needs as an empath? It can be challenging because you're likely so busy helping others, right? So we must put our own mask on first, just like in the airline. So tips on how to let it go. Intention is everything. Always remember that. Intention is everything. So now I want to go through the tools list. And this tools list got emailed to you. So this is what I say for empaths and healers, letting go, clearing, releasing tools. So I want you guys to do this with me. So we're going to gently hold the forehead. On the left side of your forehead, do just that side, is your mental body, and it's an energetic access off of the left side of your forehead. The middle is the spiritual access, so you can hold the left and the middle. And then the right side is the emotional body, right? These are the energetic bodies off of our body that I was talking about. And then the bridge of the nose. So I wear glasses, so I have to take my glasses off to do this, but you can hold all 3 points on the forehead plus the bridge of the nose, which is the limbic system access. So if you're in rage and you feel rage coming up, which is uncontrolled anger, right? It's different than anger. Then you can hold these points on your head to calm you down. And I realize now, Micah, you might have benefited from having this while before I talked about the other.
Yeah, this helps.
Right. And so just holding those spots help release the emotion, the mental, the spiritual. And then your other hand put on your belly button. And that's your center for emotions. If you have so much emotion coming up, you're like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed by emotion. I can't even tell you what emotion I'm having. Then that's the one that you want to hold, and it will sort your emotions. It's kind of like the Harry Potter sorting hat for emotions. So and then your hand on your belly button, take it to the back of your neck and keep the one on your forehead. And that is for PTSD. And you'll notice that your pinky finger is touching the cranial base, your skull, and your thumb is below your neck, starting on the top of the shoulder, right? So there's a spot in your spine between 3 and 4 vertebrae that releases PTSD. This is a body work that I use. But I thought, everybody can use this. And so if you ever are like getting a flashback, you can hold the back of your neck and your forehead, and it will clear the PTSD like very quickly, very quickly. And if you're really emotional, hold your forehead and your belly button, and that will sort the emotion very quickly. I had a vision one time in a bodywork class, and I had a traumatic memory come out of my finger. And I was like, I was freaking out, and my lab partner goes, "Are you okay?" And it's like, "Oh God, a repressed memory, right?" And I had all this vision, the smell, everything was like of abuse, right? And I was like, "Oh my God." And so she's like, "I'm getting the teacher," right? So the teacher happened to be right behind us. He comes over, and I'll turn sideways. He never touched my forehead. He just was right here. And it immediately cleared. 3 seconds, the entire vision was gone and the trauma was gone. I was like, what the hell did you just do? And that started out a 14-year training in integrative manual therapy. And he did it in his clinic, but what he was teaching was something completely different. So I attached myself to his hip and I go, what did you do that cleared my trauma? Because I've got a lot of trauma. And so I ended up doing 14 years of training with them. And I learned very well how to clear trauma. And these handholds are amazing, are amazing. I can like almost hit somebody or they almost hit me in a car, and I'll just immediately hold my forehead and I calm right. So you can use it anywhere. Okay. So I wanted to make sure you guys had that. And so now I'm going to go back up to the rest of the bigger part of this list. Um, return to sender. So if someone is projecting any kind of emotion at you, rage, they're pissed, whatever, sadness, whatever, and you're just like shields up, right? You can say, no, I see you, return to sender. So some people, when I've said that, my mom projected onto me and she's so angry and blah, blah, blah. But when I go do a return to sender, and it's like, no, my mom's so old and feeble. I don't want to return that crap back to her, right? There's the empath compassion again. And it's like, okay, but here's my visual of this. She had anger, but where did she get it from? Is she processing anger from her parents? If so, you do a return to sender, it comes off of you, off of her, off of her parents, and where did it originate from? And it goes all the way back through the ancestry, wherever they got it. It could have been from a rape that happened that they don't even know the person. And it's like that trauma, you can go return to sender, boom, goes right back to that person. But they likely had trauma too, which is why they did the trauma to you, right? They did that act to you. So it comes off of them. So when we do a return to sender, it goes back to the original sender. So funny, not so funny story. I'm a body worker. I'm doing body work on someone. And 3 times this has happened. And I'm helping my client that is not part of my family. And I say, this is a tool we can return to sender. And I feel it go and peel off of them, off of it. I see it in my mind's eye. It ripples off. 3 times it has come back and hit me in the back. And I was like, holy shit, I was the original sender. Are you kidding? Not my family member. And that's where it's like, I don't have a fixed belief about past lives or ancestry, right? And one time it was very clear I was in their ancestry from many, many, many generations back. So is that a past life? Is it ancestry? I don't know. But it hit me in the back and came right off of me, and it lifted off of me too. And I went, oh my gosh. So return to sender is very powerful. And again, intention is everything. Intention is everything. I will repeat that many times. So visualize yourself as a pass-through vessel. What I mean by that is that you have your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body. So if you're in the grocery store and someone comes up too close behind you, you're like, hello, what are you doing? Right? You're gonna know. And so when you have your bubble and you visualize and know what's in your bubble, this is the second one, right? You visualize that bubble. However, if someone's really projecting onto you like a family member and they might have some accurate information, they're mad at you about something, for example, you can make that bubble permeable and you can allow the information come in and out all the way through. You're permeable. Now, some people are like, oh, bullshit, I'm going to let that roll off me like ducks off or water off a duck. But you're going to miss some things. So one day I had this visual, a family member was very angry, like rage, right? And I was like, oh, we have to pay attention here. This person has never hit me, but they could. And I'm going to pay attention. And I became permeable. And because they were projecting and blaming and all this stuff, and they were trying to make it my fault. Right? And so I became permeable and it came in. And this one thing they said hit me, and it's like, oh shit, there might be truth to that. But I'm in potential danger. I'm going to take that piece of information, put it on the shelf. I'll come back and look at you in a minute. And then I let the rest go. All the projection, all the blame, everything. And my counselor had said, if the person, anybody, this is anybody in your life, if they don't ask a question, you don't have a reply. So if they're projecting all this stuff onto you and you're like, oh my God, they're just like dumping on me. If they don't ask a question, there's no reply. You don't most of us will go into defending ourselves or whatever, but it's like I became permeable and it's like, oh, that one might have some truth to it. I'll look at you later. Da, 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 da. I need to stay aware here so that I'm not in danger. And I just let it all come through. And it's like projection, projection, blame, 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 projection, projection. And then they got done. And I just looked at them because they didn't ask a question. And it was a monumental moment for me to be in this moment and recognize that they didn't ask a question and I have nothing to defend because they're projecting and blaming. I mean, that told me that I had done enough work that I could be that present. And so they got mad and they were like, what, no reply? And I go, I didn't hear a question. Did I miss it? Did you ask me a question? And then they went on another rant, which felt like 5 minutes long, but it was in reality, it was probably a minute, but it felt awful. And then they went off again for another 20 seconds, which felt like another minute. And then they still didn't have a question or anything. And it was like, and I said, I still didn't hear a question. I don't know what to say because I didn't hear a question. So I don't really have anything to say. And then they got mad, left, slammed the door, and then came back 15 minutes later, knocked on the door kindly. And I said, come in. And they said, I'm sorry, you did not deserve that. And in that 15 minutes, I lied there, I laid down and I was like, okay, those couple things on the shelf, is there truth to that? No, there's not. I've done that. I've dealt with that. And I went back and I did that. Now that's presence, like in the face of danger. And when a person is angry, it's very different than its rage, very different. So when you're a pass-through vessel, I just let it come right through me and down the river. I have a beautiful river outside my office in the other office. And I have two offices and I just visualize everything going down that river and just let it go or down the drain, whatever visualization you want. It's just become that pass-through vessel. See if there's any truth, especially if it's someone you're in relationship with. There might be some truth for you to look at. But if you just like block it, you could miss it, right? And sometimes people, I've come across people and I'm like, no, shields up. This is not even worth my time being a permeable pass-through vessel. Just not. It's just not, right? And so you have the discernment and totally trust that. So visualizing your own bubble and that could be used as a shield. I don't recommend mirrors. Us empaths are very compassionate. And when we put a mirror, and if someone's projecting shit on us, that shit's gonna go back. It's not gonna help anything. So when I have to use a mirror, which sometimes I do, I program the mirror for compassion and love, respect and awareness, so that whatever they're throwing at me comes back as compassion and love, so that they can do something with it if they choose. That's what I do. Using water, drink water. Oh my gosh, we have to keep our brain hydrated. A shower, you can release every morning. I release everything down the shower. Swimming. If I do dishes, I process. If I'm stuck with something, I just am in water. Movement, dance, sound, music, tones, reduce your sensory input. And I'll give you guys a really good key if you're ever in public or in a group setting and you're like, oh shit, I have to get out of here. Oh, where's the bathroom? Just excuse yourself to the bathroom, reduce your sensory input, re-engage your bubble, give yourself a minute, go to the bathroom. Unless you have children, you probably will get privacy there. Visualize or hug your favorite tree. So I have some favorite trees. And when I really need grounding and I'm in a situation where I just can't, I just visualize that I'm sitting in front of the tree. So I visualize my favorite nature. Crystals, in your email, I sent a video for an interview. I think it's like 17 minutes long with, I'm going to forget her name. She's at Nature's Bling in Bend, Oregon. And I interviewed her online and with crystals, and she taught us some crystals for releasing and for protection, and it's beautiful. So I really appreciated her doing that. And play with animals, right? You can visualize your animal, be with your animal, be in nature somehow, and breath work, right? Just taking breath gets oxygen to your brain, and we go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, we're not breathing. So we got to remember our breath. So that page, I recommend print that out, put it in your car, put it somewhere where you've got it, that if you get triggered, you can remember these tools. So the homework that I'm recommending is that you pick one or two of those things and practice them this week, so that next week you will be able to um, pick a couple of different ones and get used to using them so that you can use them when you don't need them and practice them. That way you will be able to recall them when you do need them, if that makes sense.